back to my channel. My name is Darian and today I am going to be doing the Positions book tag. So the Positions book tag was created by one of my best friends here on BookTube, Rachel from Let Me in the Library. I love Rachel so much. She was one of the first friends that I made when I started my BookTube channel. I think we actually started our channels like a few days apart, like 2 days apart or something like that. And she's just been so supportive of me and she's just the most amazing friend and I love her so much. So if you guys are somehow not already subscribed to her, I will definitely leave her channel linked down below as well as the original video because it's amazing, obviously. And yes, I do have coffee with me while I film this because I am so exhausted today. I did go back to school last week and yeah. So before I get into the tag, I actually wanted to talk to you guys about this new platform that you may have seen around on BookTube or Bookstagram, but it's this new platform for book content creators called Bookstagrammers.com. And I know the name kind of makes it sound like it's only for Bookstagrammers, but it's actually for all types of bookish content creators. So Bookstagrammers, booktubers, book bloggers, even book talkers. Like really, if you create any type of content that has to do with books on any type of platform, then you are welcome to join Bookstagrammers.com. And for this platform, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, it's open to everyone, and it also does not matter how many followers you have. So like I am working with them for this video and obviously I don't have as many followers as you usually see people who have sponsorships and stuff like that, but this platform is for literally everyone. You can have 100 subscribers, you can have 10,000 subscribers, anyone can join to work with them. So the platform is basically made for facilitating collaborations between creators and brands to work together, and it is absolutely free to join, and anything you earn by working through this website you get 100% of. There's no mediation fees or anything like that. And yeah, it is just super easy to sign up. I will leave the website linked down below so you guys can go check it out. And like I mentioned, I have already signed up. I'm working with them to talk to you guys about them today, so yeah, definitely check them out. So far it seems really great and I think it is a great opportunity for any type of bookish content creator. You know, you don't have to always wait for 1 million subscribers to get paid for what you're doing. This is an easy way to find people to work with. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about them today. So yeah, so let's just get on with the video. So obviously the Positions book tag is based off of the Positions album by Ariana Grande, and some of you probably already know this, but I actually don't like this album very much. I mean, it's definitely not bad, but compared to her other albums, it's just not, like, it's probably my least favorite album of hers, which makes me so sad to say because I love Ariana Grande, but this album was just not it for me. The only song that I absolutely love is POV. Like, that song is one of my favorite songs from her, but all the other songs I find just kind of sound the same. I'm sorry if you love this album, please don't hate me, but I definitely want to support Rachel, and also if you guys love this album then you can do this tag too. So yeah, so let's just get on with the question. So obviously each question is based off of each song from Positions. So just as a warning, I guess, since there are so many songs, I'm not going to give super detailed synopsis of each book because I would be here for ages, so hopefully that's okay with you guys. But yeah, so the first song is Shut Up, which is to name a book that you never shut up about, and I mean we all, like, how could I not pick this book? This is Strangest Dreamer, obviously, by Lady Taylor. It's my favorite book of all time. I probably mention it in almost every single one of my videos, if not every one. But yeah, I love this book so much. Please read it. It is a great YA fantasy series and it's just so good and I love it and I never stop talking about it, so I will not stop until everyone has read it. So if you want me to stop, you better read it. So the next song is okay, do you say 34 and 35 or 34 plus 35? I don't even know what she says in the song because I have barely listened to this song, but I think it's 34 plus 35. But anyways, we know what that is. So that is to name a book that you stayed up to finish. And again, this is gonna be such a me answer, but Where Dreams Ascend by Janella Angelis, basically my second favorite book of all time. I love this book so much, and when I read it, I remember one night I was reading it and I was only halfway done, so I think that's like 200 pages that I had left, and I started reading it and I was only expecting to read for like maybe an hour or two, but then things got juicy. So I ended up staying up till 3 a.m. to finish this, and the ending made me cry, and I was just alone in my room at 3 a.m. crying over this book. And if you have read it, if you know, you know. So yeah, I love this book so much. It is kind of I wouldn't call it a retelling, but it is definitely inspired by Phantom of the Opera, and also some people compare it to The Greatest Showman. I don't personally like The Greatest Showman, so I much prefer this to The Greatest Showman, but maybe if you love The Greatest Showman, then you will love this. But yeah, there's kind of a like circus, and there's a magical competition, and there's great characters, and there's a great romance, and I definitely highly recommend this book, and I think it will also make you want to stay up to finish it. So yeah. So the next song is Motive, and the question is to name a book that left you questioning everything. And so the book that I chose is A Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. This is a like mystery thriller, and this book just had so many twists and turns. Like, I feel like every quarter of this book there was just a major plot twist, and I was just like, what's going on? This book, basically, a short synopsis is that we're following this man who he's at the airport one day and he meets this woman, and he tells her that he thinks his wife is cheating on her, and the woman is like, well, why don't we just kill your wife? And he's like, okay. So basically they start planning to kill his wife, and then there's just so much more to the book than that, like, but I definitely don't want to say any more than that because you gotta experience this book for yourself. But like, there's so many twists and turns, and then the ending, like the last line of this book is just like, what the heck? And I remember when I was reading it, like I was reading it on my Kindle, and I read the last line and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then I like pressed the screen because I thought there was like another chapter or something, and then it just was done, and it was like the acknowledgements, and I was like, wait, that's the end, like, oh my god. So yeah, that book definitely left me questioning everything. So the next song is Just Like Magic, which is to name a book that has all your favorite tropes, and I love a lot of tropes. Like, I'm not very picky when it comes to tropes. I mean, I hate like the obvious ones, like, you know, the just like other girls trope and stuff like that. But the book that I chose is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, because this book has fake dating and enemies to lovers. I know some people will argue like it's not real enemies to lovers, it's more like annoyance, I guess, to lovers. Like, it's not like they loathe each other, but they just really don't like each other. But still, I call it enemies to lovers, and I love it. This follows a girl named Olive and a guy named Ethan, and their siblings are getting married to each other, and at the wedding everybody gets sick except for these two, so they end up having to go on the honeymoon that their siblings, his brother and her sister were supposed to go on, and they have to pretend to be married, and it's great and I love it. There's also kind of there's only one bed trope, like not really, but I mean technically yes, because there is only one bed in their hotel room, but like, anyways, it's great. I love it. This book is so freaking cute. It's probably one of my favorite romances, or maybe might be my favorite romance, but yeah, I love it so much. So please read this. So the next song is Off the Table, and that is to name a book that raised your standards. And I wasn't really sure how to interpret this because I was thinking like, does this mean raise my standards for books or just in life? So the book that I went with is Becoming by Michelle Obama, because I feel like this just raised my standards for everything, because not only is this such a great book, but like, she is obviously such a great person and I love her so much, and this book is just so amazing and so well written, and it's probably my favorite nonfiction I've ever read, and definitely my favorite memoir I've ever read. It's just so amazing. It's all about her life growing up and then meeting Barack Obama and living in the White House and everything that happened during his presidency, and just so much stuff, and it's just so amazing, and I definitely cried a few times. Like, this book just makes me want to be a better person. Like, I just find her writing is so hopeful, so inspiring, and she's just such an amazing person, and I want to be her best friend. So I guess I'm going with this book, and if you haven't read this book yet, like, you need to. It's so amazing. Oh my god. Like, if you think you don't like nonfiction, or if you think you don't like memoirs, you still need to read this book. Please, it's so good. So yeah. So the next song is 6:30, and that is to name a book that is problematic but that you love anyway. And I don't think, I mean, I guess it's not really for me to say, but I don't think this book is that problematic, but I know some people don't like it for certain reasons, so I'm sorry Jess, I'm talking about this book again, but that is One Day in December by Josie Silver. I love this book. It's such a like guilty pleasure for me. I find it so cozy, especially the audiobook. I've read this twice and I listened to the audiobook both times, and I just love the narrators for this book. So basically this book, just very quickly, this book follows this girl named Lori, and one day on her home from work she's on the bus and she looks out the bus window and she sees this guy, and it's like love at first sight. The guy rushes to the bus to get on to meet her because it's love at first sight for him too, but he misses it, and then this girl is like, oh my god, like I can't believe I just fell in love with this guy that I don't even know, and she spends the next year of her life basically looking for this guy and she never finds him until one day she goes to a Christmas party with her best friend, and her best friend introduces her to her new boyfriend, and guess who it is? It's the bus boy. So thus begins a very complicated relationship between these three for the next 10 years. And I mean, that alone, you can kind of sense why this book may be problematic, because obviously our main character, Lori is her name, I don't know if I said that, but she is trying to fight off these feelings that she has for her best friend's boyfriend, and he is like kind of still has feelings for her too, but he's also in love with her best friend. So it's just a lot of complicated stuff going on, and I can definitely understand why people don't like this book, because, you know, I can see why that wouldn't be appealing to read about, because there's just a lot of messiness in their relationship and there is cheating in this book. So be wary of that if that is a trigger for you before you read it. But I find that, like, for me, I mean, I hate cheating in books or in life just at all. I hate it, but for me I can kind of separate it and still enjoy the story, because like these people, they're not the greatest people. I wouldn't want these people to be my friends or anything, but I still love the drama of the story and the messiness, and I do find the romance cute. So I know it's not the best, but I like it. I always get so nervous talking about this book because I feel like Jess's eyes staring at me. That's the last time, I promise, Jess. But yeah, I know people don't like it, but I like this book. So the next song is Safetynet, which is to name a book that you knew immediately would be a 5-star read. And I mean, there was an obvious answer for me for this one, but I had to go with Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I just knew, I mean, like the question says, I knew right away that this would be an all-time favorite book to me. I just related right away to Frances, the main character. Like, she is in school and she's going through exams and stuff, and she just puts so much importance in doing well in school, and she puts so much pressure on herself, and I just related to that so much. And also she becomes friends with this guy named Alid, and I also related so much to Alid because he deals with anxiety and depression, and also Frances, I would say, deals with anxiety, and I just related to that a lot. And I just found the writing in this book so emotional, and every time I read it I just wanted to cry, and I just loved it so much. It like holds a special place in my heart, so I knew right away I would give this book 5 stars. So the next song is My Hair, and the question is to name an author that is pretty well known and that you are really interested in but you haven't read any of their books yet. So I had to go with Akemi Dawn Bowman because I own 2 of her books, and I have an ARC for her book that's coming out called The Infinity Courts, I think it's called, and I still haven't read any of her books yet, but like I just have this feeling that I'm gonna love every single one of her books. Like, I just know deep down that I'm gonna love her books. I do have Starfish and I do have Summerbird Blue, and I am so excited to read them. Both of those are contemporary, but The Infinity Courts, I think it's sci-fi, which is very interesting. I know Summerbird Blue has an ace main character, and I'm pretty sure all of her contemporary books are very emotional, so like this seems like such a perfect author for me. So it's crazy that I still haven't read one of her books yet, but like I know I'm gonna love them, so I just need to read them. But until then I'll just keep buying her books, I guess. But yeah, I know I'm gonna love her. The next song is Nasty, which is a new release that you can't wait to read, and I had to go with A Lat's Away by Darcy Little Badger. First of all, look at this cover. I don't know how well you can see, but like I just got this in the mail the other day and I love this cover, and also the inside. Like, look how beautiful. Oh my god, I'm so excited to read this. Again, the main character in this is Ace, so we love that, and I've just heard so many amazing things about this book, and I'm just so excited to read it. And I have just this feeling, like I look at it and I'm pretty sure this is gonna be 5 stars. And I know like my friend Casey loved it, I know Kayla from Books and Lala loved it. Like I just I think I'm gonna love it. I don't know too much about what the story is about. I know there's a ghost dog, and I think it's like there's kind of a murder mystery. Like I think her cousin was murdered, something like that. But I think I'm gonna love it, and I can't wait to read it. So hopefully I can read it soon. The next song is Westside, which is To Name Your Favorite Series, and obviously my favorite series is Strange the Dreamer, but I didn't want to repeat myself, so I decided to go with Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, or just Percy Jackson and the Olympians. The Lightning Thief is the name of the first book. But anyways, by Rick Riordan. I think we all know this series, and I actually haven't read the series since the first time I read it, which is when I was like 12, I think. So I don't know if I can actually say it's one of my favorite series, but it was my first favorite series, if that makes sense. Like up until that point when I had read this book, I had never read a series that I loved as much as I love this series. Like it's just so good. I know that when I reread it, like I'm gonna love it just as much. I don't think it's gonna be disappointing. So this is definitely a series that I really want to reread very soon, and I can't wait because I love all these characters and I love Percy and Annabeth, and I do really want to get into reading The Heroes of Olympus and The Trials of Apollo, and I think that's it, unless there's more. But yeah, I love it. The next song is Love Language, which is a comfort book that you keep returning to, and I don't have an answer for this one because the only book that I've reread recently is One Day in December, but I have once I reread Strange the Dreamer, then that will probably be my answer, which I'm actually planning to do in February, which is very exciting. But yeah, I don't really have an answer because I haven't reread very many books, so yep. So the next song is Positions, and that is to name a book that subverted a cliche, and I'm going with Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, but the cliche is kind of a spoiler, so I'm not gonna say what it is, but if you've read this, hopefully you know what I'm referring to, but maybe, I don't know, but it's something that happens, or something that you find out near the end of the book. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. This is another YA fantasy series by Laini Taylor, my queen, and there's just a lot going on, and you find out a whole bunch of stuff at the end of this book, and I think it does subvert a cliche. Maybe you disagree with me if you've read this, or maybe no one knows what I'm talking about, but hopefully if you've read this, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, so next is Obvious, which is to name a book that you love from a genre that you don't usually read from, and I had to go with Skyward by Brandon Sanderson because I don't read a lot of sci-fi. This is the last sci-fi book I've read in many years. I can't even think of any other sci-fi books I've read recently, but I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4.5 stars, I think, and I had such a fun time with this. It's about this girl named Spencer who wants to be a pilot, and she's having trouble because her father was a pilot and he is known for being a coward because he retreated during a battle and was shot down because he was a deserter, and so everyone just knows her as the coward's daughter. And I loved Spencer. She was just such an angry person. And I don't know, I loved her character, and I loved all the characters in this book, and this book gets pretty dark, which I was not expecting, and I love Mbot, obviously, my baby boy. Again, he just wants some mushrooms and I love him. But yeah, so this was a great book, and I can't wait to continue the series, and I really need to read more from Brandon Sanderson. I know my brother's watching this staring at me, but yes, I do love this book. So if you don't read a lot of sci-fi, this is definitely very accessible for non-sci-fi readers, so I definitely recommend this if you don't read a lot of sci-fi. And finally, we have POV, the best song. I love this song so much. That is to name a book that you'd love to see from another character's point of view. And I was thinking of which book I wanted to pick, and then I realized the right answer was House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, because can you imagine getting the point of view of one of the children? Like, how amazing would that be to read from Theodore's point of view? And he would just want some buttons, or Chauncey, or Lucy. Like, oh my god, that would make my day if I could read from one of their point of views. So I had to go with this book because that would just make the book even cuter than it already is. Oh my god, I would love that, especially Theodore. Oh my god, Theodore is my favorite of the kids, and I think I would just die if I read from his point of view. Like, I love him. So yeah, I had to go with that one. So that is the positions tag. Again, I will leave Rachel's channel link down below. Make sure you go check her out. And thank you, Rachel, for creating this. I'm sorry I don't like the album, but I do love these questions. I find these questions were very creative and very different from most questions you see in book tags. So Rachel, you're a genius and I love you. I don't really have anyone to tag because Rachel tagged basically everybody I know when she made her video. So if you are watching this and you want to do this tag, I tag you. So feel free to do this and make sure you go check out Rachel's original video. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon with another video soon. Bye!